Alright guys, it's Dokkan time again, and today we are going to be going through Dragon Ball Heroes units. Yes, because we are going to be getting Dragon Ball Heroes units next month, around the 21st of November. So I figured it'd be a good time to start how to build videos for a lot of the units that aren't necessarily going to get an easy A, but units that people could be pulling during the celebration. I figure I'd just hop on it now since there's so many of them to go through. Let's just get down to the main two that some people probably missed last year, or a lot of people missed last year. So we're going to start off with Super Saiyan Full Power 4 Limit Breaker Goku. I just call him Limit Breaker. I don't give him the whole giant spiel like that, but he is a crossover and full power category leader at 170. And then the 200 goes for only 200 heroes category allies. Now his super attack is raise attack and defense for one turn, which is only 30% attack and defense. And then he has key plus 3 attack and defense 180, and then plus additional defense attack and defense 60% performing a super attack. Now once you get an additional plus additional attack plus 80% and reduce damage received by 30% when all the allies in your in the attacking turn are superclass, full power, and Dragon Ball Heroes category characters. So that really limits your teams with him, unfortunately. That 30% damage reduction actually does go a long way. His defense at max key 200, full passive, I mean, he'll hit maybe around 800k defense at the most possible, double super and everything. So that 30% damage reduction really is going to go far, and you really need it. So superclass allies defense plus 40% when there is an ally whose name includes Vegeta attacking in the same turn. So the good thing about that is that he's a defense, superclass defense plus 40% buff for everyone. But I mean, the odds are that you're going to have to pair him with the other Limit Breaker Vegeta, which is actually his best link partner as well, and on the most categories. So he also has plus another additional attack and defense plus 40% and performs a critical at starting from the turn in which he receives 7 attacks. So he has automatic crit. That's what this means. Performs critical hits starting from the turn. That means no matter what, he's going to be performing a crit every single time he supers after he gets hit 7 times. So he has automatic crits in him. Guess what that means, everybody? That means, yes, you do not put crit into him. He's got crit built in. You need the crit. You need you want this extra defense, by the way. So I mean, if you don't have this extra defense on him, then that means he's going to be below 800k defense at pretty much all points of time, which is not good. And even last year, even in the previous meta, it wasn't good before. It was decent, but it wasn't good enough per se. We have Saiyan Warrior Race, Super Saiyan, Experience Fire, Saiyan Roar, Kamehameha, Prepared for Battle, and Fierce Battle. So just looking at him and his team, I mean, he's got plenty of team options, but the problem is that you're not getting this damage reduction unless you have a full power or Dragon Ball Heroes team. So you will never get his full passive otherwise. Personally, I go for a full additional and then put in the dodge as the last of the filler. A lot of people go with full additional or a full dodge with him. I don't see that. He needs to get hit at the end of the day. So yes, healthy dodge is good, but you still want him to double super so he can have an optimal good amount of defense, and he needs to get hit to be able to start doing crits or even have a good enough defense to even start talking about him. So really decent character art, really good super attack animation. He's a fun unit. It's just they could have done him better. But yeah, he's a full additional and dodge character, whichever one you feel is more better to prioritize. So moving on to Limit Breaker Vegeta. This one might be slightly different, but we'll see what happens. So he is a crossover and Giant Ape 170 lead, and then Heroes characters all are 200%. I think they're different. So Goku's was full power, and then Vegeta's was crossover and Giant Ape. Honestly, his is actually a lot better of a leader skill. He has the better leader skill because crossover is pretty much all crossover units. Okay, well, no. So full power is the weaker category, whereas Giant Ape would be better for them specifically. It's not to say that full power is a bad category, because it's not. Full power is not a bad category at all. I mean, it used to be kind of questionable, and it still kind of is a little questionable, but it has a lot of powerhouses in here. And that's the part that makes it good, is because it has a lot of good units, top tier units. Not necessarily, you know, synergizing very well, but yeah. Anyways, so he also only raises attack and defense for 1 turn for 30%. E plus 3 attack 180 plus an additional attack and defense 60 when performing a super attack. As you can see, they're very similar. Plus an additional defense plus 80% launches additional super when all allies attacking the same turn are super, Giant Ape, or Dragon Ball Heroes category units. This is very crucial. I can't really like stress this enough that he needs that built-in additional. That built-in additional goes a really long way. I mean, that's an extra 30% defense right there. As you can see, though, he definitely does a lot better defensively than Goku does. I almost honestly said Kakarot. Because he gets additional defense, whereas Goku gets 80% attack specifically. So superclass allies get an attack plus 40% when there's another Goku on the field. Not mandatory, but very nice still. Plus an additional attack and defense plus 40%, and guarantees to hit and disable enemies' guard starting in which the turn the character performs the 5th super attack in battle. So the good thing about his passive is that he only needs 5 super attacks to go off. And if you're running a full superclass Giant Ape or Heroes team, you have a chance at additionaling every single turn. He guaranteed launches an additional super attack when you have a full Giant Ape or Heroes team, basically. So that's double super. He needs to do 5 super attacks. If you built him with additional in mind, you could potentially get to this part of his passive by turn 3, actually. Yeah, by turn 3, because if you triple supered 2 turns in a row, if you not even triple supered, if you double super and then triple super on the last one, you would on that. I don't know if it applies on the 5th super attack or probably after. So if you did super 2 times on turn 1 and then 3 times on turn 3, you would probably get this activated and get that defense buff at least afterwards. So that would be very good for him. He has experienced fighter, Super Saiyan, Prodigy, Saiyan Roar, Royal Lineage, Prepare for Battle, and Fierce Battle. So no, he doesn't have any extra things in his kit to actually give him any like crit additional or nothing. I will say this, and it's probably overlooked a little bit. Disable enemy's guard. So the thing about disabling enemy's guard, it's like, how do I put this? He's not having super attack, but the enemy isn't going to have guard effect. So if you're fighting an STR unit, that unit will no longer have guard against Vegeta because he's an STR type. So he'll do normal damage to him. So it's not like this is type disadvantage or anything, and I don't think this applies to every boss, but it is definitely something to keep in mind. But unfortunately, the way that he is as of right now, I would say you probably want to go for more of a additional build. You want to try and focus additional the best that you possibly can on Vegeta. You want to get that additional so you can get to that 5th super attack as soon as possible. Or you can disregard the additional and just go with dodge and crit. So the thing is like he's already got a built-in additional. He's a physical type, so he's getting a little bit of additional already as it is. It wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing to give him some crit. It wouldn't be necessarily a bad thing. But I mean, for the large majority, I mean, because they're so weak defensively, you should go for additional and dodge just to get more defense, of course, more defensive options potential. Apologies. But yeah, you probably want to just go for a more defensive kind of build with them. Personally, I went for more of a mixture. I went for a more focus on additional. I gave him a like 9 dodge and I gave him like 9 crit. You know, I gave him a healthy good amount in between the two, but I focused primarily on the additional to make sure that he gets more defensive value but still has a chance to do some decent damage. So, but anyways, guys, let me know down in the comments how you built or will think about building these units once you get them. Maybe you're watching this when the Heroes event is out and you just pulled them. You know, tell me then a month from now, almost, from me recording this. Tell me how you decided to build them. But anyways, guys, I look forward to the next one, and I hope you have a good day and a good night.